Yeah, it's our old throwback screen because we're doing a little pre-show like we used to do. The real show will start at top of the hour. But why don't we keep this old school and play a little intro music, shall we?
In the sand, hole punches, fighters, conspiracies tight. He's podcasting strong, deep into the night. From the man from UNCLE to the Motown scene, he's dropping gems like you never seen. Oh, you know, Tom Gulley, he's the podcast king. Say what? Ladies' man with a smooth, sweet swing. Talking disseries only Tom would know. From R&B to got a podcast too, dropping truth bombs. He's coming for you. Evil puppets think they can play, but the man from Gulley don't sway. He's sharp as a tack, clever and sly. When he's in the zone, they can't deny. He's the man from Gulley. He'll outsmart the devil verse every day. The man from Gulley. Say what? Taking down those puppets in his funky way. He's got moves like a Motown king. Words so smooth, they gotta sting. Ha! With a mic in hand, he's a podcast pro. Evil schemes on wherever he goes. Clap your hands now. Tom don't run, Tom don't hide. He's got that funky justice stride. With the bass line bumping, the horns on blast. He's fighting those puppets, making it last. Say, Tom Gulley, say the man. Say Gulley, Gulley. He's got the plan. He's the man from Gulley. Oh yeah, he'll outsmart the devil verse every day. He's the man from Gulley. Taking down those puppets in his funky way.
Hey, what's going on, man? I'll tell you, it's wonderful. Leon Kennedy has joined us. He's the dude responsible for all those tracks. Says he got another one. Asks me if I want it. Of course I want it, man. You know I want it. We got somebody in here that knows I don't want them in here. Knows I don't like them. And they just keep creating new screen names, and I just keep banning them. There's people I seriously don't like that I'll let in here. Not that guy. Nope. Sorry. Go get your need for attention somewhere else. Yeah, Leon, send me that thing. I'll play it. We're doing a little bit of a throwback. I'm using OBS. And, I don't know. My good friends at StreamYard didn't reset my StreamYard. So, once again, not helping. They're supposed to be helping, but they're not helping. They say they're helping, but they're never really helping. Tonight we're going to be telling you about Playboy After Dark, which was the coolest, hippest show in the late 60s. It's impossible even to describe it, which I'll do when we get onto the show. We have some comments here. We've got some funky people in the room. We got Jared. He's here. Says they call him Mr. Gulley. They do. Gilman is here. He's requesting another interview with Russell Alexander from the Hitman Blues Band. I will approach the Hitman about that very subject. I will. They're always up to something new. He's always got a new record out or CD or music that you download or stream. And he goes to England, I think, twice a year and tours the UK, so we'll check that out. Leon Kennedy, as I mentioned, was in here. He says he's got a new track. It's called Tom Gulley Goes to Town, which I love. Chris is here. I don't know if he appreciates Chris, but some people call him that. He says, hey, Tom in chat. Hello, Chris. Nice to see you. If you'd like to be on the show, we can make that work, even in OBS. I just have to hook up with you on Facebook and do the call there. I suppose I could do Microsoft Teams or something like that, but why make it complicated? Maybe the Wolf will be in later. I don't know. Maybe I'll get bored later and I'll just go to my Facebook and we'll see. I mean, I could even see sometimes Russell's around, and Chris says, I'll take it. Did I enjoy Red Rooms 2, Tom? Well, Pot Awful's Awful Ween and Red Rooms 2. Let me tell you how I feel about that. I talked about it a little yesterday, but Leon's here. I'll answer that question for him. By the way, Leon, everybody's been raving about these tunes that you've been kind enough to make for me. And people seem to really like them. So here's the deal. Jesse X, also known as Jesse PS, and a guy that's on just an incredible generational run, he contacted me and said, okay, I need you to do this thing where you pretend to break up with this girl. And I had seen the previous Red Rooms and thought it was kind of fun. So I said I'd do it. And I knew nothing else about what he was going to do. And I don't ask questions. I do not ask questions. I think Jesse would back you up on that. He would also back you up on the fact that even though I had done this, I mentioned it to no soul on earth. By the way, I'm out of soda. So at some point before the top of the hour, I will be putting on one of those songs again and getting supplies. Where's the wolf and where is Doc? I don't know that Doc even knows I'm back on. He pops in once in a while, I guess. But the wolf, you can't control where the wolf's going to be. So anyway, I thought that my participation and even the mention of me in Red Rooms 2 would be confined to like a little side joke to make the focus of that movie mad or some shtick like that. I thought it was going to be just a tiny punctuation in the grand scheme of what was going on there. Well, little did I know that there would be so much. And a quite elaborate storyline was created around me, which was at one part extremely disconcerting. But there's a lot of it, part of it, that's like, well, I don't want to dispel those things, the complementary things. So I thought the overall product, depending on people's taste, of course, it was very grand in scale and another elaborate hoax that only, I think, the Pod Awful cult and Jesse could pull off. So, I mean, if I was rating the movie, I'd give it an A, but my participation, I'm just a little... Put yourself in my shoes. You think just the one tiny piece is going to be about you. Just a little, like, gag. And then it turns out there's a bunch of stuff, and it's quite extreme. And so, anyway, Leon Kennedy says, never going to give you up, never going to let you down. Okay, I assume that the director's cut or something in it has, because I did a couple of takes. Jesse gave me some copy to do, and I recorded that for the fake voice message. And then I came up with my own, which I think ends up being what they used in it. I'm not sure. You'd have to ask Jesse. And then I did one that I just thought would be funny, which was a Rickroll. And I don't know if that was used or if it came off very well, but hopefully I'm not spoiling any surprises there. Chris says, it was very funny and scary stuff. I loved your parts in it, Tom. Parts? I only had the one part. Just 20 seconds of audio. That's it. That was it. That was all. That was the whole, as they say, the whole Megillah was just that one part. Goat said they went with a good take. I don't know whether you mean the one in the movie, which is, I just did that off the top of my head. He said, because he told me, I read the exact copy he gave me. And then he said, and you can also do ad lib if you want. So I did a total ad lib, which is, I think, what they used in the movie. And then I did the Rickroll. Yes, Chris, they did speak of me often. Imagine, and again, put yourself in my shoes. You think you're just going to be in this one thing, and then you hear people talking about you, and the things that they're talking about aren't me buying ice cream. I'm telling you. I think there were 2 snippets of your voicemail they used. I could be wrong. I don't know whether I haven't seen the director's cut, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I suppose I'm going to save the new track, Leon, until tomorrow. I don't want to take the time to download, and I'm in OBS and all that other stuff. But so I guess that's a tease for tomorrow's show, that track. And also, I will be discussing the Burger Chef murders. Now, for you youngsters, Burger Chef was a competitor of McDonald's, and it was a serious competitor of McDonald's. It was a great fast food restaurant. Where I grew up in Indianapolis, there was a murder of 4 workers of a closed Burger Chef who were they were kidnapped, taken out into the country, and there's plenty of country in Indiana, and they were all brutally disposed of. And it's never been solved. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Chris says you're a great sport and took it all in stride. Hey, look, I've been interacting with the Pod Awful cult for a number of years now. That's all you can do, is be a good sport and take it in stride. Crappy at Life says H2BH, Hugh Hefner is likely rotting. Well, maybe. Leon Kennedy said, no problem. I'm going to bed soon anyway. I'll send it later. I also made an album cover for it. Well, send that too. I'd love to show it on screen. As for me right now, I'm going to play Tom Gulley Rides the Waves again, which is also a throwback. I used to have a song, Tom Gulley Rides the Waves. And so Leon did an homage to that, which is like an R&B song from the 70s. I'm going to play that. I'm going to put the newer title card up. And I have to go get another Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero, or I won't make it through the show. So, courtesy of the genius of Leon Kennedy, and these are all bangers, man. Unless you guys have another one you'd like to hear. We got Tom Gulley Rides the Waves, Podcast King, and the man from Gulley. The first one to tell me which one they want that's what I'm going to play while I go get a soda real fast. And then I'm going to play another one at the start of the show, as I promoted this one to start at 6 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock in your mountain time zone. And Terry Nee says, you Playboy. I don't know if Terry remembers Playboy After Dark. There's plenty of it on YouTube that you can see. Leon Kennedy wants Rides the Waves. He gets what he wants around here anyway. So here it is. Tom Gulley Rides the Waves while I get a soda. Back in 2 minutes, 45 seconds.
They ebb and flow. He's catching
Hey everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking wherever you at tonight? Let me tell you about Playboy After Dark, the coolest, hippest, most amazing, most incredible show that was ever on TV. And it's unlike anything else that's ever been on television. And it had good-looking girls on it and stuff. If you weren't here for the pre-show, we've got a lot of groovy people here. Leon Kennedy, who's been doing all of our music and a tremendous job at it. He's got a new song. We'll debut that tomorrow. And then he did Tom Gulley Rides the Waves. So let's see who's around. Our good friend Terry Nee. He remembers Playboy After Dark. He remembers Playboy during the day because that's how he rolls. Chris is here with some cool emojis. People saying hi. People saying hi. Ride that wave, Gully, says Jared. Chris says, where can we get this song from? Well, I don't think I'll have to talk to Leon about that. I feel like people should get it from a source of Leon's so it would drive traffic to all the other things he does. I don't think it should be, I think I should just use it. But if he's got a page or if he's got a place that he'd like people to see his other work or whatever, people can go there. But I'll figure out a way that people can get these and play them in their own time. I do have to admit, I've been listening to the man from Gulley a lot. So Jared says, speaking of groovy, the Grateful Dead made an amazing appearance, but I don't want to spoil. They should. Thanks for spoiling it. Thanks a lot, Jared. Chris says, nice work, Leon. That song kills. They all kill. They're all amazing. When I first got They Call Me Mr. Gulley, I was so flattered and so stunned, and I made the video for it. I do have a friend that owns a boat. It's getting a little late in the season, but I called him up the other day, and we're trying to figure out a time when we can go out on his boat, and I can stand on the end of it, and we can cruise across Lake Texoma. They maybe do a video with that, but anyway. Yeah. Terry Nee says, I saw the Dead and the Band in Syracuse, 1984. Wow. And that would have been a reunion of the band, right? Because they did the last waltz in the mid to late 70s. That would have been a heck of a show. And I'm not a tremendous fan of the Grateful Dead. I don't dislike them. I've got a couple of their bootlegs that I listen to not that often, but I'm a huge fan of the band. I love the band. In fact, we should do a show on the band. I better write that down or I'll forget it. The Band is an amazing story of that group. Tremendous milestone in rock and roll history. Why do I have... Oh, there. All right. Anyway, let me tell you about Playboy After Dark, okay? Let me tell you about that. Let me get some artwork up here in my OBS. I made some artwork. Here's a scene that you might have seen on Playboy After Dark, as a matter of fact. This is how cool and hip it was. Now, let me just break out who's in this scene for you. At the very left, with just sort of his head to the side there, is comedian Bill Dana, who you would have seen on The Tonight Show and all other talk shows and movies. Then there's actor Don Adams. You remember him from when we did Get Smart. That Don Adams. Next to him, and this is in like 1969. So this is way before the Bionic Woman, but that is the Bionic Woman, Lindsay Wagner. And that's when she was just a starlet, just a hot chick that was in stuff. Now, in the middle there, Bill Dana, I messed that all up. Bill Dana's the guy in the black suit with his head sort of profiled. At the piano is Don Adams. Over his left shoulder is Lindsay Wagner. And then next to Lindsay Wagner, and this is the amazing thing about Playboy After Dark, scientist Yorick Wilkes. Yorick Wilkes, who's a British computer scientist. So he was like pioneering artificial intelligence back in the late 60s. He was a world-renowned scientist. And that was the amazing thing about Playboy After Dark. They would mix people from all these different intellectual, hip, cool walks of life, athletes, singers. I'll get into it in just a second, but it was not a show with a fixed camera throughout. There were many portions of that show where Hugh Hefner, who hosted the show, would just walk through the crowd of what was really a party. There would be go-go dancers in the background. There would be music playing. As we continue with who's on screen there, on the right shoulder of Don Adams at the piano is the legendary playmate and often a star on Love Boat and a million other shows and game shows. That's Barbie Benton. And I know some of you in the chat room will know who Barbie Benton is. If you were around in the 70s, you knew who Barbie Benton was. She was quite fetching. And then there to the far right is the host of the show, Mr. Hugh Hefner. That's him. Right here, there he is talking with comedian Soupy Sales. And if you can see in the background, there are people smoking cigarettes. Hefner had a pipe. He rarely smoked it. And there's other people just chatting. The other guests of the show are just kind of hanging out, man. And then they would occasionally pause for music. And there'd be a musical performance. So anyway, this thing was syndicated from 1969 to 1970. It was taped at CBS Television City in Los Angeles. And it really sort of portrayed a typical party at Hugh Hefner's house, complete with Playboy playmates. And believe me, there were a ton of those strung about, just as decoration. And then celebrities who just chatted with Hugh Hefner. And the people that he got were like the most interesting people in the world, okay? They weren't just, if you ever saw the Playboy interviews, and you can say what you want about Playboy magazine, right? But the Playboy magazine got some of the best interviews, and I know it was a cliche to say that back then, but they really did get the best interviews of all time. They got presidential candidates, they got famous like Bob Knight, who was impossible to get an interview with. He did one. Jimmy Carter famously did one during his presidential run. They got just very difficult to get interviews, and they were good interviews. And anyway, they had similar discussions on Playboy After Dark. Now, I've got to reinforce this. You can still see episodes of Playboy After Dark on YouTube and several, I think the Internet Archive has quite a few of them. And I strongly encourage you to. I really, really do. Jared says, definitely do a show on the band. Love those guys. R.I.P. Everyone but Robbie, I think. I think Robbie recently died, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I'm going to check it for you right now. But I think he recently passed away. Yeah, he passed away in August of 2023. So during COVID, he passed away. I think they're all gone, frankly. But whoa, the band. Terry Nee says they filled in because they were nearby. Yes, I went for the band. My friends went to Trip. Terry Nee says that Yorick, the famous scientist, likes the upper mammalian carriage of females and science. Crappy at Life says it's to distract you from the sick poison he helped to popularize. Okay, man. Crappy at Life says he has the George Lincoln Rockwell issue. Well, that was it. I didn't buy Playboy magazine, but when Bobby Knight did an interview in it, I got the magazine because I wanted to see the interview, because they would ask him really tough questions, really interesting questions, and people would give answers in the Playboy interview. So Terry Nee says, as a child, I drove by the Playboy Mansion, Chicago, with my dad. Yeah, there were Playboy clubs in many, many, many cities, and they slowly shut down. Jay says, I teared up when we lost Garth. Garth Hudson is actually on a track by one of my favorite bands called The Call. And he's on a track called When the Walls Came Down. He's in the video with all these young guys. Old Garth's back there, bald, his hair out to the side. And Garth Hudson was a classically trained musician. He was like symphony level kind of guy. Garth was fully Woodstock, if you say so. So let me get another Playboy After Dark thing here in terms of a visual. And then I'm going to tell you some of the guests that were actually on Playboy After Dark. Now, these may not match while I'm talking, but I'll put up, I already put up that one, sorry. Tony Bennett, who actually younger audiences remember because he did duets with Lady Gaga and Madonna and really everybody. Tony Bennett was quite active till very late in life. And he was a musical guest. But the first episode had Rowan and Martin. It had Stu Gilliam, who was a very well-known actor and stand-up comedian. And it had Paul Hampton, another actor, singer, lyricist, and the Clara Ward Singers, which were a gospel group. The second episode, dig this second episode, okay? Now you can say what you want, but Bill Cosby, who was a superstar in 1969, it had Bill Medley, right, of the Righteous Brothers. You probably know him from the song, You've Lost That Love and Feeling. Oh, that love and feeling. Musical guest, Iron Butterfly, famous for Inagata Davida. Kay Stevens, who was pretty big Las Vegas entertainer at the time. The Blossoms, which were a girl group that had Darlene Love in it. Darlene Love, of course, is very well known for singing Comeback Christmas Baby every year on the Letterman Show. Shel Silverstein, who was a writer and a cartoonist and a poet and a songwriter and a musician. One of the things that you will remember Shel Silverstein for is that he wrote the song A Boy Named Sue for Johnny Cash. So all these people were kind of like hip intellectual types, right? And then the Reverend Malcolm Boyd. Now, the Reverend Malcolm Boyd was an Episcopal priest and was one of the Freedom Riders, okay? Very active in the anti-Vietnam War movement, but he was very, like super intellectual. Now, episode 3 had the aforementioned Tony Bennett, the musical guest Steppenwolf. You guys know Steppenwolf, Born to be Wild. Yeah, Steppenwolf. They had Milton Coleman, another famous stand-up comic of the time, Morgana King, who was a jazz singer, the legendary, and I met this guy, George Plimpton. Now, many of you may not know who George Plimpton was. He was an extremely well-known American writer. He wrote a book called Paper Lion, where he actually went through training camp with the Detroit Lions, okay? And he was a guy that when he wrote a book about sports, he was known for what they called participatory journalism. When he wrote a book if he wrote a book about bullfighting, he went and learned bullfighting, all right? And lastly, Professor Irwin Corey, who was this zany, kooky professor kind of comedian. You might have seen him in The movie Car Wash. Now, episode 4, episode 4 actually had, together, being interviewed on the show, Roman Polanski and his soon-to-be late wife, Sharon Tate. Yes, Sharon Tate. It had legendary actress and singer Della Reese, the legendary singer Vic Damone, who was just huge. Don Adams was on that one. Bill Dana was on that one. Jackie Gale, another famous comic. And a group called The Collectors, which is a psychedelic rock band from Canada. We'll get to some of your comments here real quickly. And then I'll go back through the photos some more and tell you some of the guests that they did have. Let me see here. Where am I at? No, there I am. I'm right there. I'm here. Anyway, let's see some of your comments. Terry Nee says, the call sounds awesome. The Call. Although the Caw wouldn't be a bad name for a band. Chef is with us. He's in the kitchen. Good old Chef. Enjoyed talking to him last night on the show. Terry Nee says, loved watching Laugh-In with my parents. Laugh-In is available, all the episodes, I think maybe on Tubi. It's on one of the free streaming channels. You can see every episode. We already did a show on Laugh-In. The rate of gags on that show was amazing. It was like a machine gun. Goat says, remember when famous people used to be talented? I do remember that. I do remember a time when there was no one who was famous just for being famous. Terry Nee says, Goat, you never heard their options. Shel Silverstein apparently had a side job, according to Groat. Terry Nee says, super intellectual means spewing other people's writings. Sometimes, but not always. Not always. Crappy at Life says, Roman Polanski, the famous director. Terry Nee says, oh, Chef says, I got kicked out of a Grateful Dead concert. Can you believe that? Me. How do you get kicked out of a Grateful Dead concert? That seems like it would be impossible. Crappy at Life says, I'm going to be no fun tonight. Well, mission accomplished. Leon Kennedy says, night, Mr. Gulley. I promise I'll call in one night. Ha ha. Well, I'd love to hear from you. And good night. And thank you. Thank you for all the tunes. I don't think super intellectual means other people's writings, and I specifically don't think that that's what it meant during this period of time. There were people actually protesting the war, actually doing things that, you know, they weren't repeating other people's opinions about the things that were A, happening to them specifically, and B, happening in that period of time. They were commenting on that. The Caw, an alternative psychedelic rock band from Southeast Texas. I knew there'd be one. And I, due to the whole bird thing you got going on, I'm sure that that's a band you would like. Jared said, I got tossed by a bouncer at Madison Square Garden at a Dead show. He didn't believe I had a ticket to the good seats. Man, that's so non-Grateful Dead. Let me put another picture up here while I tell you about some of the other people. I'm going to have to go faster because I can't do every single episode. It would take there's only 2 seasons worth, but, there was let's see here. Oh, look at this guy. This is Otto Preminger, who was a legendary movie director at the time. Hugely famous movie director. Like back into the 30s and 40s, and at the time as well. Episode 5, Norm Crosby, legendary malpropism. He would intentionally get words wrong when he spoke them. Rich Little, who people still know today is probably the best overall imitation guy. He was an impersonator. He did imitations. And you could say Frank Caliendo maybe is better than him. But Rich Little did a vast repertoire, did a dead-on Carson, a dead-on Ronald Reagan, a dead-on a lot of people. Harry Nilsson, the legendary singer, famous for Cats in the Cradle, but also a better song called, no, that was Harry Chapin. Harry Nilsson was pioneered a return to the great American songbook. Harry Nilsson. Did he do Taxi? I think that was Chapin too. Let me see. Harry Nilsson used to pal around and get super drunk with John Lennon. John Lennon. A bunch of his songs were recorded by other people like the Monkees. He had a collaboration with Randy Newman. Let's see here. Yeah, he's just a well-known songwriter. Carol Channing. The next episode, Tommy Smothers, Buffy St. Marie, Louis Nye, the Buddy Miles Express, which was it was pretty much an instrumental group anyway. Don Adams, David Hemmings, who was a famous British actor. Gail Honeycutt, who was a smoking hot actress. Tommy Smothers on there again. Joan Baez, the legendary protest singer. The Avant-Garde, which was a band, but the most notably, prominent thing about that band would be their lead singer, a guy by the name of Chuck Woolery, who we later got to know as the host of The Love Connection. The Checkmates, which were an R&B group from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Yeah, so the Checkmates. Gloria Loring, who was, she was on Days of Our Lives, also a singer. Little Jimmy Webb, a very famous country singer. Melvin Belli was on, and everybody's like, who's Melvin Belli? Melvin Belli was like this huge entertainment lawyer that would sue movie studios and get involved in major divorces, of movie stars. Zsa Zsa Gabor, Errol Flynn, Chuck Berry, Muhammad Ali, the Rolling Stones, Jim Baker and Tammy Faye Baker. He was the lawyer to the stars, right? Let's see here. Shecky Green, Doug McClure, Don Rickles. And again, keep in mind, Hugh Hefner is just walking amongst these people and talking to them. And I understand you had a little trouble in Chicago last week. And then they would tell what happened. This guy here I'm showing you is Gore Vidal, who is maybe the chief intellectual writer of the 60s and 70s. He used to go on and have huge battles with the conservative. He's very liberal. And he had huge battles on Firing Line and on ABC's coverage of the Democratic and Republican national conventions in 1968. Huge battles with William F. Buckley, the very, very conservative William F. Buckley. And he got Buckley so mad one time that he made Buckley resort to a slur on the air. And William F. Buckley was thought to be unflappable. William F. Buckley, who would, of course, discuss many aspects of the intellectual aspects of politics, which often descend into a bit of a catfight. Anyway, that was my William F. Buckley imitation. I don't know if anybody knows who William F. Buckley is, but it was dead on. How about Sammy Davis Jr.? How about Jerry Lewis? How about Peter Lawford, another member of the Rat Pack? How about Anthony Newley, who sang Send in the Clowns? How about, let's see, I did that. Sid Caesar from your show of shows. How about, as my good friend Jared mentioned, the Grateful Dead? How about Noel Harrison, the son of Rex Harrison? How about Three Dog Night? Yes, you youngsters may not know about Three Dog Night, but they were a super smash hit rock band at the time. Bob Newhart. How about Bob Newhart? Yeah. Yeah. How about Jackie DeShannon, another extremely popular recording artist? How about the legendary football player and actor Jim Brown? How about the legendary blues artist Taj Mahal? And he's just walking around talking to these people. How about maybe for a lot of people's money, the greatest drummer of all time, Buddy Rich? How about the James Cotton Blues Band? Shelley Berman, the incredible, one of my favorites. We ought to do a show about him. Lou Rawls. Lou Rawls, a singer, just one of the greatest singers of all times. Soupy Sales. Pete Seeger, the protest singer, who a lot of people, he was banned on television for forever. The Smothers Brothers finally put him back on after 20, 30, 40 years. The band Canned Heat. Yes. Oh, how about this dude here? Hold on. I think he's right here. Pete Barbuti. I think it was a trumpet player, or was it clarinet? Very legendary guy that was on the Tonight Show all the time, Pete Barbuti. The Committee, which was an improv group that Dr. Johnny Fever, Howard Hessman, was in. A pretty well-known thing in the 60s and 70s. Marvin Gaye, the Byrds, okay? A lot of musicians. And sometimes these musicians didn't perform. They just talked, right? Billy Eckstine, legendary singer. Pat Morita, you know him as Mr. Miyagi. Yes, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. How about Michael Caine? You know Michael Caine as Alfred, Batman's butler. Michael Caine won Academy Awards. He was in a movie called Alfie. Meredith McRae. Meredith McRae was on My Three Sons and Petticoat Junction. Kind of hot, Johnny Mathis. Chances are if I wear a funny grin the moment you come into view. Joey Bishop, who hosted a late night talk show. Let's see here. Deep Purple. That's season 1. Let me get another picture of another person here for you. Milton Berle was a guest, and they would just be sitting there smoking cigarettes, hanging out on the couch, Let's see here. Dick Shawn, Larry Storch from F Troop, Ike and Tina Turner Review, Patty Duke from the Patty Duke Show. They walk alike, they talk alike. Sometimes they even, whatever. Rex Reed, the movie critic. George Kirby, comedian. Fleetwood Mac. In 1970, they had Fleetwood Mac. They had Leslie Gore, whose song, It's My Party, You Can Cry If I Want to. She was also in the movie To Sir With Love. Artie Johnson, very interesting, from Laugh-In. Yeah. Grand Funk Railroad. Tony Randall from The Odd Couple. Let's see here. The Amazing Kreskin, who was a sort of an illusionist. Let's see here. Some of these people repeat. So Jack Jones, the guy who sang the theme to The Love Boat. How about that? Scoey Mitchell, Hugh O'Brien, big actor at the time. Joe Cocker, Linda Ronstadt, Joanne Worley from Laugh-In, Smokey Robinson, and the Miracles. Yes, the Miracles were there with him. Let's see, Robert Goulet, Edie Adams, the wife and also a big star herself of Ernie Kovacs. Let's see here. We had, I better get you another picture. You'll become more bored. That's Buddy Rich. Sonny and Cher were on the program, of course. Yes. Sarah Vaughan, Trini Lopez, two big singers. Lola Falana, Don Ho, Pat Paulson. Pat Paulson, a comedian who famously ran for president every year. For no reason. Just every year ran for president. that was his thing. Band from Woodstock, Country Joe and the Fish. Let's see here. Sammy Davis Jr., Moms Mabley, Billy Preston, who was often called the fifth Beatle from the Beatles, and also did a song called Nothing from Nothing Leaves Nothing. And another song, Will It Go Round in Circles? It's a great song. You need to go listen to Will It Go Round in Circles. It's Leon Kennedy level good. The Cowsills, Frankie Lane, Connie Kresk. Yes, she was Playmate of the Year of 1969. And George Carlin. Yes, George Carlin. Just a taste of what you would get on the legendary Playboy After Dark. Hey, do me a favor, please. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all the free things you can do to help out our little show here. That would be greatly appreciated. Let me see here. I got a lot to catch up on this. Trainee says we're all parrots. Randy Newman, short people, sure. Nobody likes short people. Oof, Indiana again. Yes, we always point out the Indiana references here on the show. Chef says, I play Harry Chapin music on my guitar sometimes. That's cool. Three Dog Night is great, says they are. You'll never find another love like mine. Three Dog Night, let me get to them for a second. Jared loves some canned heat. Marvin Gaye, Tom needs some sexual healing, says Terry Nee. Don't we all? Very interesting, but stupid. Terry Nee says, it's like I'm 10 years old again. Chef says, I smell something smoking. I've got to go. Everybody say goodnight, Gracie. Goodnight, Gracie. But you got to have something if you want to be with me. All right, now. Let me see here. Let me just go through. Three Dog Night, I think I could do a show on them. Did I write them down? The band, I'll write Three Dog Night down too. We haven't done a band show in a while. Three Dog Night have like it's a huge discography. I mean, it is. They had a number of hits. They were around for a long time. Try a Little Tenderness was a top 40 hit. One is the loneliest number. They had a song called Easy to Be Hard. Eli's Coming. Celebrate, celebrate, dance to the music. That was a top 40 hit. Mama Told Me Not to Come. Another top 40 hit. It got to number one. Out in the country, one-man band, both top 40 hits. Joy to the World, all the boys and girls. Number one hit by Three Dog Night. Liar. Number 7 on your top 40 chart. The Just an Old-Fashioned Love Song. Number 4, But I Never Been to Spain. But I kind of like the Beatles. That's another top 40 hit. Family of Man. Black and White reached number 1. The ink is black. The page is white. Together they learn to read and write. Pieces of April, number 19 on the list. Shambhala, number 3. Let Me Serenade You. The show must go on, but I must let the show go on. Sure as I'm sitting here, play something sweet till the world ends. These are all top 40 hits, man. They cranked them out. They really, really did. Three Dog Night, I think, is a very underestimated rock band. I really, really do. So if you get a chance, check out Three Dog Night. Very, very good stuff. Yes, Terry, 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. 2 can be as sad as 1. Anyway. Yeah, so Three Dog Night, big deal. All of these people, oh my gosh. Mama Told Me Not to Come. Roller skater Texas girl. We don't see her here every single night, but she does stop in whenever she can. And I'm going to tell you something. She has been so kind to this show, but put that aside for a second. Forget that. She supports a ton of shows. I see her here, I see her there, and she is quite a philanthropist when it comes to helping little shows like these. So, Roller Skater Texas Girl, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for all you do online in general. Seriously. Terry Nee says, uh-oh. Roller Skater Texas Girl says, Tom, right back at you. Right back at you. What was Mama Told Me Not to Come? Is that the one that had Wolfman Jack in it? Or was it a different one? Mama Told... That was such a good song. Want some whiskey in your water, sugar in your tea? What's all these crazy questions they're asking me? This ain't the body I will never be. Let's see here. That was written by Randy Newman for Eric Burden's first solo album, and Three Dogs Night's version was a cover. Tom Jones and the Stereophonics, respectively, they had versions that reached number 4 in the UK singles chart in 2000. Three Dog Night version. No, I'm thinking of a different song with Wolfman Jack in it. But Mama Told Me Not to Come is a great song and a cautionary tale for teenagers that were attending parties with things going on, you know. Mm-hmm. Terry Nee says, Jake Hudson. Well, I don't know that Roller Skater Texas Girl supports Jake Hudson. I would recommend that she does not, or even watch that program, but a number of other shows. She said, you're too kind, Tom. I love all of these channels. Well, we love you back. And someday we got to figure out a time I can get out to that roller rink at the same time you're there. And we can meet and have roller rink pizza if they have that there. I don't know if Roller Skater Texas Girl is aware of that. By the way, please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell. Do all those free things that help us with the algorithm. Right now we have almost no one watching the show, and it's because we're being sort of throttled for reasons I don't know. But I get to see how many impressions we get. That means how many people actually see this show in their feed, and it's gone way down. And nothing has changed on my end. So they've changed the algorithm. They've done something. So those likes and those shares and those retweets to all the other social media programs, those are the lifeblood of what we do here. And then, of course, we do have super chats, and we do have memberships, and we do have the PayPal and all the other things that are in the description of the show, and the merch store. Nobody nailed it. Clap for the Wolfman. That was the record that I was thinking of. Clap for, he gonna reach your record high. That's all about forever. And he'd say something. Thank you, Nobody, for getting me that. Let's see. I love all these channels. Roller Skater Texas Girl. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this while you've been in the room. I actually, when I was in college, during the summers, I had my day job, which was as a pool service guy. But on weekends and some nights, I worked at a place called United Skates of America. I think it was a chain. And it was out at 46th and Shadeland, I want to say, in Indianapolis. And I was the DJ there. And so I got to see all these crazy good dancers, roller skaters, excuse me. And this was in the early 80s. So the roller boogie thing was still kind of alive. And the outfits that they would wear and the things that they would do. And the music was cool then, too, man. So, I a lot of times said, gentlemen, time to get off the floor. Maybe get yourself a Coke or a snack. It's a ladies' skate for the next 3 songs. Ladies' skate. If you're here by yourself, you might want to pair up. Couples skate only for the next 3 songs. Couples skate only. If you've been looking at somebody and they've been looking at you back, now's the time to ask. Couples only. Yeah. Just me. Just me. Yes. I also worked when I was in college during the school year and in the summers after I no longer worked at the skating place. This was after right after college. I was living in my college town, Muncie, and I had my day job was at the radio station. And so I didn't go home to Indianapolis where the skating rink was, so I didn't do that anymore. I was the DJ at the local dance club called King's Corner. And there was this German guy there that I think it was a part owner or something, and he would come in early on and before the night got going, and I'd be playing some stuff, just sort of background, right when I got there. And the place would be packed. It was a human car wash. It really was. And he would come up to me and go, "Make the people dance. Make the people dance." I always thought that was hilarious. Make the people dance. Make the people dance. I'm like, those people would dance. If I put the sound of a dying fly over the mic, they would dance. Believe me. Bunch of early 20s college kids. Wasn't much social lubrication required to get them to. Here, let me put the 9-minute version of Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel on. They'll dance. They'll dance. Chris has got the roller skates out. Oh, let's see what we got here. Pizza time. Nobody says happy birthday, Terry Nee. Roller Skater Texas Girl says, so cool, Tom. We still have DJs too. That is so cool. That is so cool. Seriously, I got to figure out a time to get out there on a weekend if possible. Kind of busy during the week. Well, when you're there, though, and don't expect me to skate. My ankles are so trashed from soccer, it's not even funny. Tom was a Gandhi dancer in his day. I could bust a move. I can still bust a move. When my feet are in those roller skates with the ankles, can't wear high top. I can't ski either for that reason with my ankles confined that way. Let's see. Nobody. Thank you. Yes, nobody. Thank you. Growing up, I spent Friday and Saturday nights at the skating rink less than a half a mile from my home. Well, the skating rink in my town was an ice skating rink. So I could do that great. I think I've mentioned this on the air. The first time I ever said curse words were at a roller rink because I couldn't do it and I kept falling down and people kept bumping into me and all that other stuff. And it got me so frustrated. I had never said curse words and there were no adults, and I almost instinctively said a curse word and thought, there's nobody. I didn't get in trouble for that. That's I left the skating rink and then didn't use them again for many years, but I did on that day. Let's see here. Roller Skater Texas Girl says, we going to be packed on Saturday. Why would that be? I'd like to know why that would be. Terry Nee says, I worked at a Zettel's footlong hot dogs at Granger Fair during a summer at Penn State. Oh, what I wouldn't give for a time machine. Hey, buddy, you want to hurry it up with the hot dogs there? I would just so... Did I say I wanted mustard? I made a mistake. Make it over. Roller Skater Texas Girl said, I'll do about 10 hours. She said, people fight over that DJ position. Well, that's interesting because when I did it, they couldn't find anybody. And the person they had before apparently was really, and I was selling it, you know. Turn the beat around, got to have percussion, and we've got to have you at the snack stand. It's got everything you need. We got Skittles. We got, I would sell it. And while the other song was ramping up to play, matching beats, and oh yeah. And I had dudes coming up to the DJ booth, man, you got to play Disco Inferno, man. But I said, by the Tramps. Do you know that one? Do you know that one? By the Tramps, you mean? Yeah, it's up next. Hey, the funk was flaming out of control. You know it, dude. You know it. Anyway, let's see here. Roller Skater text girl says, I work the floor primarily and close and clean like a waitress. Oh, boy. Terry Nee says, I was president of the Penn State Ski Club. Humble brag. You know, I admire people that can ski and skate and things like that. I was always, because I didn't have a chance to even water ski when I was younger. Just from playing soccer, I was always so nervous about my ankles. And I rolled one of them really badly one time, and I just that feeling of I can't control as much what my ankles are doing in that. I don't know, it freaks me out. I can't do it. Roller Skater Texas girl says Saturday is always very busy, and Sundays too. Well, I could probably get away on Friday. I don't do shows on Friday. I probably could figure out a way to get over there. But we got to meet. We live so close. We got to, and by the way, Roller Skater Texas girl, bring a chaperone, all that good stuff. I don't meet people in real life from this show. I just don't do that. But you seem pretty cool. So Jared said hot. Terry said Tom wore a polyester suit, clogs, big comb in his back pocket. No, yes, and yes. I did have one of those tomahawk combs in my back pocket, but they were jeans. Yeah. And then I'd play Beth for the ladies, the couple skate. I'd play slow songs for the couple skate, you know. Or, Endless Love. Or Roller Skater Texas girl said the hubby comes a lot too. He's getting pretty good. Well, bring him along. Like to meet both of you. But I remember my nephew had my brother and his wife at the time. She was great. Dumbest thing my brother ever did was, but she was great. She still is great. She's still awesome. She's still friends with everybody in the family. We're not crazy about him. One of those situations. And she set up this birthday party at the roller skating rink. Now, they didn't close the place down or anything, but they had an area sectioned off for us. All of his kids' friends showed up, and there was plenty of skating. You could go skate. But one of the big things was there was going to be a pizza party, and they made pizza there, and the pizza oven was not working, or there was a problem, or the person who didn't show up. And so I remember me and my dad, we didn't skate. We were just standing around and stuff, and it's getting later and later, and now it's getting close to kids have been here for 2 hours. They're getting grouchy. They're getting tired. So are we. I'm like, do we need to get out of here and hit a McDonald's or something and just get some? I'm starving because I knew I was coming to this pizza place. I know, me too. And, and so they finally made the pizza. And, of course, the kids are ravenous. They jump on it. We're doing our cool adult thing, and we're staying away because, you want the kids to have it. So your sister-in-law and daughter-in-law doesn't look bad to the other parents, the kids can be satisfied. And they're going crazy, and the pies are flying out. And finally, there's some pizza for me and my dad. And we both get a big slice, and we start eating it. And we're just making, oh, God. And my dad looks at me, and you'd have to know my dad. This is so hilarious. And he just said, this is the best expletive pizza I've ever had in my life. Anyway, Roller Skater Text Girl said he likes your show too. Well, good. I'm glad. You guys are really cool, and I've been in other shows where you've been generous and kind to people there, and I think it's wonderful. Julian Zizer says, just saw a fun vid the other day on YouTube called Chasing Strangers Insane Street Skater When You Need to Waste 10 Minutes. I will look that up. I mean, I guess I could try to skate. I don't know. But I probably won't. I don't think I'd be good at it at this juncture. Now, if it was ice skating, I definitely would do it. Because I was really good at the ice skating. I was greased lightning. And I can't tell you what the differences are between ice skating and roller skating in terms of momentum and physics and all that. I just know it's easier and I like it better. For me anyway. Roller skater, Texas girl is laughing. Tomorrow night we will be doing a show on the Burger Chef murders, the unsolved murder case from the 70s in Indianapolis. There were things happening. There was a guy called Brent Kimberlin in Indianapolis who was the Speedway bomber. He was blowing up cars in Indianapolis. There was a guy from my hometown who was a member of the Symbionese Liberation Army that was on the loose. And there were a number of other scary things that were happening. I delivered the newspaper. So I was up at 3 and 4 in the morning in the dark, walking through these darkened neighborhoods. And let's just say the Burger Chef murders did not make for a fun newspaper delivery, because the papers arrived at my house all bundled up and I see the first one. I read the paper cover to cover every day. So I'd read it, just to get enough fuel to be terrified out of my mind the next day. And that one was never solved. Ooh. So that was a good month of... Anyway. Ice skating is closer to inline skating. I never did that either, so I'll take your word for it. Nobody says, try skating on rollerblades. You might like those. The wheels are inline, more like ice skates. I think it's over at this point. I'm still running, but... Terry Nee says, at 10, an older girl pinched my hiney. I'll just say hiney. Try to bring that word back. At a roller rink. It was horrifying and wonderful at the same time. Nobody says roller skater, Texas girl. Exactly. Okay. I remember when the inline skates came out. Yeah, I remember when everybody threw theirs away too. There's a joke. I'm not going to tell the joke. Well, I won't tell the punchline. What's the worst thing about rollerblading? And everybody knows the punchline. And when that punchline came out, all of those skates went, see ya. Except for girls, maybe. Doopa Doopa Doo is here. Good to see her. Terry Nee, that was you? Jared says, don't forget to up fingers. Yes, we need your likes, your shares, your subscribes. We need you to share those babies on your Facebook and your Twitter and say, you know what? This guy is a good egg. He's a regular Joe. He's a solid citizen. And I watch him, and you should watch him too. Because you're smart and you're popular, and I'm not. Anyway, Terry Nee is laughing at Dupa's joke. People saying hi. But... I'm trying to remember the first time I went to the skating rink. I remember a girl asked me to do the couple skate. And I must have been 13 or 14. And it was like, oh, wow. Let's see, probably about 13. 12 or 13, I guess. And it was, whoa, me? You want me to skate with you on the thing? We're going to hold hands? Terry Nee says, let's not get carried away. Yeah, let's not get carried away. So anyway, that's all I got to tell you about Playboy After Dark. Which the only thing I think could have improved it would have been skating. They could have had skating. Maybe it would have been a little better. I don't know. Let me see here. Playboy After Dark. Just walking around. I might have to watch some Playboy After Dark. Let me see here. Playboy After Dark streaming free online. Boom, shakalaka. It's on the Internet Archive. I do see some episodes of it on YouTube. Yes. I do see some on YouTube. So I guess just stream it on YouTube. Let's see here. It doesn't really give a... See results about first season. Let's see here. Does Tubi have Playboy After Dark? Boom, shakalaka. I see one episode here. Let me see. Oh, it says Playboys After Dark. The Girls Next Door. That's from a documentary about Hugh Hefner, so that's not it. Anyway, you can find it. You can find it. I'm watching it tonight. Roller Skater Texas Girl says, we just keep the lights on so the teens can't snuggle. Well, the ice skating rink, the lights were always up. But they would... So the lights in the ice skating rink, which I don't even know that they could have controlled that well. It was really for hockey. But I think on Friday nights and maybe Saturday nights, they had skating for the public. But they did have sort of chase lights in different colors that would go on. So it was perfectly brightly lit. Now, the roller skating rink I went to would dim the lights a little, not much. And they also had the disco ball and all those things going on. So I don't think anybody could have really done anything. Now, at the ice skating rink, though, there were bleachers there. And there were some people that would go into the bleachers and have a little makeout session. Julian Zeter says, Playboy in the land of the midnight sun. Yes. Or any kind of sun, I would imagine. Any kind of sun. So we did this on OBS tonight. I don't know if it's better or worse. I might this weekend see if I can use the OBS version of Streamlabs and see if that's better. That's a better thing for me. Because why not? Because why wouldn't you? Right? Why in the world wouldn't you? So, anyway, I'm going to take one quick spin through my Facebook here and see if there's anybody that we might want to bring on just as a special guest at the end of the show. I could call the senior lecturer. She's online. I could call a very famous newswoman, which she'd probably never speak to me again if I ambushed her like that. Let's see here. Let's see. I could call a very prominent college basketball player. I could get Dave Michaels, legendary broadcast. I don't think there's anybody here we really want to bother. I was trying to see because the chef had requested Russell Alexander from the Hitman Blues Band, and I was going to see if he was online right now, and he's the perfect kind of person I would harass for that kind of thing. But I don't see him. I don't see him. So we won't do that. Let's see here. Terry Nee says, grinding was a big thing in the 90s for my son's age. It was horrifying. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that is. It was so great to be able to ban that person at the beginning of the show twice. Made my night. So why don't somebody, by the way, thank you all for being here. You guys are the best. I appreciate your like, share, subscribes, and all that other stuff. I really do. So tonight, Burger Chef murders, unsolved crime, awful. But for right now, I could, you know what? I could do a poll. I could create a poll. I could create a poll right now. Let me just see how that works here in the studio. Start a poll. Let your viewers weigh in. That's not a thing I want to do. Oh, here we go. Which song should I play during the show ending? Boom. And the first one's going to be Tom Gulley Rides the Waves. The second one's going to be Tom Gulley, the Podcast King. And the third one's going to be The Man from G-U-L-L-E-Y. Whoop. Why? There we go. I'm starting a poll. Please participate in our poll. Hopefully it appeared. Did it appear? There it is. They hide behind a group of kids and grind. You mean rotate on each other? I don't know. Grind, that's like a skateboard term too, to music. Okay. Julie just said, drat, I missed all the drama. There really wasn't much drama. I just banned them. Terry says, I hate polls. I need to close it all the time. No, I'm going to end it very quickly. Feelings, definitely. Feelings, nothing more than feelings. Trying to forget my feelings of love. Feelings, all my life are feelings. Let's see here. Which song was last night? I played all three last night because the wolf was here and he hadn't heard any of them. Yes, Humping, Frottage. Let me see here. I don't even know how I look at this poll, to be honest with you. It's not even showing. Oh, here we go. Right now, Tom Gulley Rides the Waves is leading with 40%. Well, it's tied with The Man from Gulley. And I played Tom Gulley Rides the Waves at the opening. I kind of feel like I should play The Man from Gulley to end it. Tom Gulley, the Podcast King, not even making. I'm going to play The Man from Gulley. And Terry, I'm ending the poll. I think we all know how painful that can be. Where's my drum roll? Hey, I got to tell you something. Nobody says play the condom song. Well, maybe another time. I went to Walmart today and I was looking for Frankenberry, and of course Halloween's over, so I couldn't find any. They didn't have any. They must have just been for Halloween. Jerry's niece says, my wife has a Pole background. Polish? Or did she work at a gentleman's club? And if she did, congrats to you. So I go there, and so I figure, well, I'll go look in the cereal aisle. Maybe they took it all, because it was on a big pallet, during Halloween. And I went over to the cereal aisle. Now, my favorite cereal is Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries. Well, Raisin Bran's in there too, but those are my two big go-tos. And Fruity Pebbles. My three favorites are... Anyway, so I saw this Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries, like a regular size box, right? And it was on sale, but even that on sale is like $4 or $4.50 or something. I gotta show you this, man. Hold on a second. I gotta go get this. Gilman's here. Says, hey guys. I gotta show you this. What's a thing I can put up here that would be fun for you guys? Oh, I've got some hot news for you. Let me go get this thing real quick, because it's amazing, and it's the little things in life. So here you go. I got big news for you. Oh, you're not going to believe this. So like a regular size box of this stuff is like I said, regular size box, regular size. And I notice next to it, dwarfing it like a skyscraper next to a mailbox. Look at this sucker here. Look at it takes up the whole screen. It's store brand, but look at the thing. It's the same stuff. You can't tell me that the other stuff is any better, okay? And it's like, look how wide the buy. $3. And I just went, what? Why would anybody buy the other? It makes no sense. I bought 2 boxes of it. I'm going to be eating this stuff for a while. And this is like snacky too. You can have this as a snack. I'm sure it's terrible for you. One serving is 150 calories. There are 19 servings inside this sucker. I couldn't believe it though. Look at this. It's way bigger than my head. It's gigantic. Look at this. And I bet it's made by the same people. I used to tell who manufactured it. Right now it just says distributed by Walmart. Oh gosh, we didn't know that. Who makes it? I'll bet you it comes from the same place. Do you think there's 2 companies that are making those shaped things there? Do you? Really? Do you? Do you? Do you? No, I can't put it there. I'll put it back here. Let me get it out of camera range. I'll put it right there. It'll be fine right there. That's just... Is that not just absolutely... Let's see what we got here. Attorney says, Costco just opened near me. It's cost you $1 to $3 more than Sam's Club. Well, I don't go to any store where I have to pay to go to the store. For Sam's Club and Costco, don't you have to pay to get a membership there? Forget it. You want me to come and shop there? I'm not paying you for that. Terry Nee says, Perry item. Is this something Perry would buy? Doopadoopadoo says, hello, Gilman. Perry item. I don't know what that means, Terry. You're going to have to explain it. Gilman says, all berries. All berries is good too, Gilman. I'm with you, buddy. All berries is great. Terry Nee says, why doesn't it keep typing, Perry? I don't know what that means. Gilman says, hey, Doopa. Terry Nee says, Tom, do you still read a newspaper? Not very often. If I'm in an airport or something, maybe, but I go online and get what I need. Roller Skater Texaco says, massive. Wow. Yeah. Roller Skater Texas Girl, I'm sure the Walmart in your area has the same thing, but, want me to, I'll tell you where I got mine. Doopadoo says, anyone else get in the mood for cereal when you watch Seinfeld? Yes. Nobody says Wally World brand. Yes. Julian sees I said that. I said I was at Walmart. I showed the great value. Yeah. Julian Caesar says Seinfeld was some sort of degenerate cereal addict. He was. Gilman says big bags are cheaper. Go boxless. Well, and that's a good point. I do enjoy the big bag, but they didn't have the big bag of this at that price. I costed it out per ounce. This is packed by weight, not volume. And this was cheaper. But usually, Gilman, when I worked for a different company than the one I work for now, in the office, I was surrounded by Gen Zers. And I have to hand it to this company. We had the most amazing array of free snacks and food and breakfast bowls and stuff. It was staggering. However, the one thing they didn't have was cereal. And around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, these kids would get hungry, so would I. And we were talking about it one day, and they were talking about cereal. And I said, well, what's your favorite cereal? They said Fruity Pebbles. I was never a big Fruity Pebbles person, but once I got some, I liked it too. I got this stuff, or maybe it was just berries. And there was one other thing I would get. Can't remember what it was. It might have been Raisin Bran. And who was I talking to here? Go boxless. Gilman, yes. I would buy the big bags of that and bring it in, and then I'd buy a gallon of milk and put it in the fridge. And anytime they wanted, they knew they could come in my office, open up that vertical file drawer that nobody really ever used, and the bags of cereal were there. That's the kind of coworker I am, especially with my younger. Big bags are cheaper, like Tom. Yeah, I am a cereal degenerate. I will be eating some of that stuff later on. Terry Nee says, my friend eats Frosted Flakes. Frosted Flakes was the thing, Terry. Thank you for reminding me. Frosted Flakes. He never watched Seinfeld. I eat cereal every morning, and I will eat it at any time during the day, and I will eat it for a snack at night. Gas price is worth it. The gas price to go to Costco. My phone kept putting Perry in instead of per. I still don't. I'm going to have to go back and figure out I have to decipher that. Per item. I got you, per item. I just eat oatmeal or muesli. I used to eat muesli, but it just feels like I'm eating bark and things I picked up off the ground. I used to eat oatmeal a lot. And for some reason, when I moved down to a warmer climate, I don't eat it anymore. Cereal at the floor level is the cheapest. They pay for position. Not this. This was in the way up high, tall, only guys my height can get it. Was that when I worked for Cartoon Network? Docs. Everybody knows I work for Cartoon Network. Nobody, have you been here before under another name? I'm suspecting that you have. No, it was not when I worked for Cartoon Network 25 years ago. By the way, unless you think this store brand is just like super low rent, they even have a little guy here for you, right? They've got their own terribly branded monster Mike the Monster. Look at that. Isn't that just horrifying? Bad? What's it say here? Monsters like Mike just love outdoor sports. Mike loves his board and always skates every day. He enjoys skate parks. Hey, roller skater Texas girl. And does his coolest tricks there. His favorite moves are the backside 180 and the Casper flip. Wow, that's bad. And you're supposed to spot the 10 differences between these two horrifying monsters. I'm not saying, I imagine that's what you're paying for with the brand name stuff, is the better puzzle, because that one's not very good. Let's see here. There is something special about Cocoa Pebbles with a lot of milk. There really is. Terry Nee says, I eat yogurt, oatmeal, and honey in a Tom Gulley mug every morning. Thank you, Terry Nee. I appreciate you doing that. Roller skater Texas girls got those skates out. Julian Caesar says reading the backs of cereal boxes is one of the most enjoyable things you can do while eating. It really is. If you got a good back of a box of cereal thing to read, Gilman is correct. There's something special about those Cocoa Pebbles. Well, you get the chocolate milk when you're done eating the cereal. There's always that left over. Now me, when I eat these, I pour the big bowl, I put the milk on it, and then I eat it, and there's no really milk left, and I put some more in there. Yeah. Yeah, I double down. I double down. Julian Caesar says, someone just gave me a big thing of honey, but I'm partial to maple syrup if I need to sweeten some oatmeal. That's good. I usually use bananas or strawberries myself, but and sometimes blueberries. But like I said, now that I live in a very warm climate, I don't make it that much anymore. So anyway, I know you guys got other shows to get to. I know I do as well. And therefore, I think it's time to put a fork in this thing. I'm looking at that old clock. I haven't done this part in a long time. That old clock on the wall. It says, like the river now green, it's time for me to get up on out of here. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And that means that and by the way, I won't be able to read your comments, but I'll respond to them because I haven't figured out how to put your comments up on screen in OBS yet. However, again, thank you guys for being here. You guys are the ultimate best. Any Grape Nuts fans? The Invisible cereal? Grape Nuts, you can eat them, but you got to let them soak in milk for 15 minutes. Otherwise, you're eating vermiculite, and your mouth is just going to be horribly bloody, like eating small rocks. Julian Caesar, thanks, Tom. Thanks to everyone else. Have a good night. You guys all have a great time. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. It's going to be the Burger Chef Murders Unsolved. Roller Skater Text Girl says, great evening, Tom and chat family. We do have the most cheerful chat room on the internet. Tarani says, I gave nowhere to go. I don't know what that means, but till next time, we'll see you next time.
Tom Gulley's got the upper hand. Ooh, yeah. He's got style, got brains, got a podcast too. Dropping truth bombs, he's coming for you. Evil puppets think they can play, but the man from Gulley don't sway. He's sharp as a tack, clever and sly. When he's in the zone, they can't deny. He's the man from Gulley. He'll outsmart the devil verse every day. The man from Gulley. Say what? Taking down those puppets in his funky way. He's got moves like a Motown king. Words so smooth, they gotta sting. Ha! With a mic in hand, he's a podcast pro. Evil scheme song wherever he goes. Clap your hands now. Tom don't run, Tom don't hide. He's got that funky justice stride. With the bass line bump and the horns on blast. He's fighting those puppets, making it last.